Live from Hemet, California. It's Geek Bytes Podcast.
We're trying to keep our location secret.
Oh,
Our
you want
secret
to?
base location. Why all our fans come and stalk us?
Oh, yeah, because we actually have international fans, believe
We
it or
do,
not.
yeah. Hey, I'm Ramon Mejia.
And I'm Edgardo Costa.
Welcome to another episode of Geek Bytes Podcast. Today is May 20th, 2016, and this is episode 64 of the podcast. Now, every single podcast, we're being with the round of the week's best geek and tech news. Then we discuss that news, and of course, anything else that we are interested in that week.
In Geek News this week, we'll talk about Google I.O. announcements, self-driving semis, the Harley Quinn spin-off movie, trailers of the week, and much, much more.
And in our discussion section, we're going to talk about the 32 new TV episodes coming out this year, TV shows rather, and of course, which ones we liked and which ones we didn't like. And we're going to begin our show, though, with Geek News.
Fellatio, you know what it means. That little girl didn't know what it means, but yeah.
Hey,
Inside joke, one of those work-related things.
I see.
Anyway, keeping it professional and geek-related.
And we begin our show with our story on
Google I.O. news. Google made a slew of announcements this week on new projects, updated plans, and what's next for Google. Here are the most interesting announcements of the week.
We're going to begin with the Google's next operating system is codenamed Android N, and of course, apparently it's far enough along that Google thinks it's ready for more people to try out. The third beta release is actually out currently, and if you want to opt in, you can go to the Android website, and also apparently Google's accepting submissions for N-words for their new Android operating system, Android N. So if you want to submit some N-words to their website, you can go with
It's
the
a
link.
total setup right
We
there.
can
It's
have
a
a link in
total
our
setup.
show notes, folks. Our next announcement.
Google announced a voice-activated device called Home that has a speaker in the base and integrates with their cast devices like Chromecast, video, and audio, and supports home networking systems for home control. Google Home won't arrive until later this year, so Amazon's Echo doesn't have to worry until then.
Nope. Now another announcement Google made this week was a new messaging app called Allo. I think they're trying to get the European audience. It includes a voice-activated smart assistant, an incognito mode that offers end-to-end encryption, discrete notifications, and permanent deletions of messages for those naughty folks. It's also coming to iOS and Android this summer, and of course, we have a wonderful video for it if you're interested in that.
All right. Also, Google announced a VR mode in VRN and a Daydream platform for VR development, which gives VR apps exclusive access to devices, processor cores like the Google's looks like Google's recognized the success of Gear VR and wants all devices running on Android to be able to get VR now.
Absolutely. Now, adding to that story, later on in the week, Google's VP of VR, Clay Bravo, announced that Google is not only setting up Daydream VR as a system for people to make things on, but they're also going to be making their own headset and their own remote system. We have a video up on the actual podcasting for the people who are going to watch it not live. And it looks amazing. You can see some of the stuff that they've already have made. A dragon flying through the air with a Wii-like remote that allows you to interact with the virtual reality headset system. So it kind of tracks your hand movements, and that's the way that they're planning to do their own VR thing. But it's interesting to see that Google's getting into the VR game. So of these announcements, anything exciting for you now?
Dante. Yeah, hearing the announcements is awesome. I'm not sure how much you guys are into the technology portion of the things, but it is great. Slowly, I've been seeing a little bit more VR. I'm not sure if you're going to see it like in your local Target or whatnot, but Best Buy already has at least a VR sampler. I don't know. Does Samsung has its own store like Apple?
I think they might have 1 or 2 locations, but they're not quite in that Apple-centric having them everywhere.
I think you probably find it more in the phone-related stores kind of thing, but
Possibly.
Yeah. So let's see.
So the VR stuff was kind of the thing that got me excited. Everything else was kind of okay. I am interested to get Android N on my phone if it's available. Always getting a new operating system. It's kind of interesting to see the new things they plug into it. Other than that, nothing else was super interesting. I was surprised that Google came out with a home speaker voice assistant system, like the Amazon Echo, of course. So Google's getting is the player in a lot of different systems recently. So and hopefully it works out for them. Now, our next tech story, though, is involving self-driving semi-trucks. Not cars, folks, semi-trucks. Back channel reports on an auto startup company founded by Anthony Levonsky, the man who built Google's first self-driving vehicles. He and 3 other ex-Google engineers have formed their own company called Otto. The company has already retrofitted 3 Volvo truck cabs with LiDAR, radar, and cameras that drive themselves, sometimes with no human occupants, of course, on highways in Nevada. Otto plans to sell automatic self-driving kits at a fraction of the cost of a new cab, and initially the tech will only work from highways going exit to exit. So not getting off the freeway, not getting on the freeway at this point, just driving in relatively straight lines on established roads.
So self-driving semis.
Yep.
Small cars were understandable. The larger cars kind of getting a little scary, but I don't know if you've seen those Facebook videos, YouTube videos there where the guy just sits there. It's almost like what's a movie, Demolition Man,
yep.
where the steering wheel kind of shrinks within itself.
Yeah, that's the self-driving system that sci-fi says.
Mm-hmm.
This to me is a lot cooler because we already are all excited about self-driving vehicles. I know I want one when they come out, but the big thing that's going to kind of change America is not the cars, but it's going to be the transportation industry, the semis, because those are just huge machines that rely on drivers driving 13, 14, 15 hours at a time. And they're a lot more likely to cause accidents that way, and because they're such huge vehicles, they're likely to cause more fatal accidents. And so just from a production standpoint, it's going to lower the cost of a lot of goods, since these vehicles can essentially drive 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without any kind of, waste of human, occupation.
I think it's going to be both a beneficial because, yes, having one less person kind of to worry about, of course, being the driver, especially for like big rig semi guys. Mm-hmm. I think now you could have more of as a person as being like a security kind of person, making sure nobody steals, obviously, because there's horrible highway stories about semis getting jacked, a lot of movies based on that kind of storyline. But now
you could get paid to basically sit in the car and read.
Yes,
and kind of watch the road, I guess, a little bit.
Exactly. It's like anybody with a night job, like, come on, unless you're actually doing something like security detail or whatnot. But if you're just a guy just making sure nothing bad happens, it's a paying gig, so I can't complain.
Yeah, so but I think that's interesting. You guys let us know anything you're interested in. Feel free to join in the conversation. We have a couple folks listening to us this week on our live version of Geek Bytes Podcast. Moving on to our next story.
Sister. Hey, gesture control for Gear VR. Eyesight Technologies has developed gesture control that uses a phone's rear camera, allowing touch-free input for things like Gear VR and cardboard. No mention on when it will come to phones, though. Engadget says Eyesight will be bringing its own scheme to phones built in 3D sensors.
Absolutely. Now, this looks absolutely amazing. If you see the video in our show notes or in the online broadcast, it looks really nice. That's kind of the one thing that Gear VR has kind of been missing, in my opinion, is an intuitive way that people can interact with their virtual reality systems on a mobile VR system like Gear VR. On other larger systems require, $4,000 computers to use, like Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive. They have hand controls, but they cost like $4,000 or $5,000 to use.
Yeah.
One of the big selling points of Gear VR is the fact that it's not tethered, it's mobile, and you can basically just use your phone for it, especially with Android adopting virtual reality for all their operating systems on all the phones possible. That mobile VR system is going to explode in the next couple of years. And so having a way to use the existing camera on the phone to do gesture controls and to track your hand movements within that same system is only going to make it more valuable.
We talked about it before because don't get me wrong, the additional controller is awesome. The other video that I've seen recently is where these artists have been doing like live 3D painting renderings. Of course, you have your options to change the settings, but I think that eventually will be done, especially like they're showing the little sample of just literally waving your hand up in front.
Waving your hand.
Just tapping this, tapping that, a la Minority Report minus the gloves. Or kind of just like the augmented reality like in Avengers where, Iron Man trying to the armor and all that
VR
stuff.
and virtual reality, augmented reality are going to be huge things in the future. We're just only now seeing the tip of the iceberg as far as the applications go. You're talking about the artistic point of view or the creation aspect of it, using the wand for like the HTC Vive or the Oculus Rift as a paintbrush.
Yes.
That you can then use in in full life-size 3D paintings within that virtual world as you're wearing the headset. You can paint and get a sense of things. That also would also work in a production standpoint, creating 3D models in a manufacturing capacity that then can be used as actual 3D printed models or CDC built models. That kind of stuff is something manufacturing hasn't quite caught up on yet, but it's pretty cool. And oh, look, your sister says she loves you.
I know. I said her hi.
No,
Love her too. But yeah, I can't wait till more of it comes down. Honestly, cardboard's going to be the way to go for the people on the budget. No offense, nothing with cardboard. You know, everybody's had some kind of ghetto rig one way or another. So I can't wait to check it out, try it out. I'll even swing by a store.
Absolutely. Now, our next story also kind of touches on the wearable system. We have PC Magazine reporting that Samsung has received a patent for a small projector that can display user interface elements on the skin and read behaviors to translate into mobile or virtual actions. PC Magazine notes Carnegie Mellon researchers introduced skin tracking last month, and a similar system is being turning your arm or hand into a touchscreen. The system uses high-frequency AC signals emitting ring to communicate with electrodes in a wristband. So essentially, this system from Samsung actually uses a projection system to kind of project onto your hand things like a touchpad or the buttons for a phone, so you can actually call using your phone and your smartwatch. And that makes the wearable watch kind of computing thing a lot more user-friendly, usable than just having that small screen that has limited functionality.
Once again, another video that was similar to it. There was a little wristband one that where you a flick of the wrist, literally it would project onto your forearm, or and it's water resistant. All the functions on it seemed great. I've just never really seen it in live. I thought it was just a kind of promotional prototype kind of thing that the possibilities with technology now you could do days. But the only bad part about it that I noticed about the projector, like any kind of projector, I don't know if you've ever been at, an example is of course the theater. The theater, back in the days of being in school, the old film projector, the old not the Xerox, what was the light projector system a long time ago.
Light projectors.
But it was literally where the teacher would write on it like a clear sheet, like a cell. There's a name for that device, but I can't think of it right now. But
the transparency reflector thing,
it's old school. But pretty much the way once you saw it on the screen, the way it will appear on your skin, not exactly HD. Because it's literally just light projected.
These things are going to be low res at first, but again, as interest increases, these things become better models.
Yes,
and it's just making devices that are currently available now more useful. I love people who do that kind of thing, who are creative, who are electronically inclined, who do the kind. I think those are the geniuses that I love.
Yeah, I can't wait till it comes out. Once again, I'm a very guy wants to go try it out, see how it turns out. I think the biggest killer, though, of course, because especially dealing with so much light and so much power we use, like any electronic device, I think it's going to be all about the battery life.
Battery life is a big thing for the Apple Watch. A lot of people have kind of been turned off by the lack of battery life.
All right, next story, let's talk about Samsung Galaxy Surfboard.
Yep.
Samsung Brazil has created a commercial featuring Brazilian surfer Gabriel Medina on a wild Samsung Galaxy surfboard concept. It looks like a regular slick surfboard, except that it has an LED display that powered by Samsung Galaxy S7 that slots into the base of the board. The surfboard can feed live conditions of sea straight onto the display, along with wind direction and frequency height of waves. Trainers can even send surfers messages to help improve their technique.
Yeah, now this seems like a total waste of technology to some people. To me, it seems absolutely cool. I would love LED screens in just about everything we work with, including all your sports devices. Yeah. I mean, one of the things I've been surfing a couple of times, and one of the things I didn't like about it is the fact that I'm not connected to my music. I couldn't bring something to entertain myself in between waves. Yeah, for some people that's part of the enjoyment of surfing, that it connects you to nature. But for me, it was those waiting periods were a little tedious. And to have some kind of entertainment, even if it's just somebody looking and giving you encouragement through a display system, is kind of cool.
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny because I'm like surfboarding. When I was hearing about the Samsung surfboard, I was thinking, okay, it's gonna be a combination like semi gimmicky about the not self-prepared, propelled one, but pretty much motorized surfboard. It's a little thicker, but it does have the little turbines on it that actually get you in the water.
Yep.
But pretty much this technology is like just sticking a phone. It's literally just sticking a phone into anything. You can stick a phone to your, in this case,
Sort of.
water bottle without breaking
Except
it.
the display is slightly connected. But yeah, I see what you mean.
What would you like to see next? Like, what do you think that's non-electric, if you will, that you like to see have a kind of electric interface like that, almost like a phone?
On your bicycles, have information for your phone already. I know there are things you could buy post-market to add to it, but I love it to be integrated into the electronics of a bicycle or electric bike like that. I think augmented reality is going to take a lot of this as displays and put them over everything we do in the future. So maybe that's the way to go in the future.
I think now that there's the pretty much the watches that are pretty much advanced, I think that's as far as it could go, because I thought about more like medical issue wise, like anything, not just beyond a pedometer, just to count your steps, but the whole heart rate and everything. I think that's eventually what I would like to see. That way, heaven forbid, there's situations that like the life alert necklace / bracelet. Until you hit the floor and you're like, oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. It'll actually feel the shock. Take your pulse and figure out, hey, it's very irregular, and automatically call 911 or some kind of emergency response system to come check you out.
Ways of the future.
Exactly.
Now talking about things we might see in the future, we have the Tetris movie. According to Deadline, the Tetris movie is projected as a $800 million China-U.S. co-production under the threshold of Global Studios. Threshold Global Studios is the banner formed by Bruno Wu and producer Larry Kassoff for this project. Threshold says they've been working with the Tetris company for over a year, presumably to flesh out story details that really make sure they nail the deep, nail-biting story of Tetris.
Tetris, the movie. Okay, you guys heard, if not seen, what's the latest board game movie?
Battleship, yeah.
Battleship. The next closest thing was, what was the... Pixels. That was the closest thing, like the 8 megabyte movie kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think they had Tetris.
Oh yeah, there was a Tetris scene in it, but it was just kind of the whole concept.
But imagine the entire movie all in Tetris, all the time. I don't know. Do you think you guys would be interested in seeing a Tetris movie?
I can see it being a B movie that went straight to video, DVD, stuff like that. But No.
It is. It's just an interesting thing to me.
I think we've seen it in Pixels, and that's I think as far as it's gonna go for a dramatic story about four squares and 4 different kind of patterns. All nailing.
Do you think they're gonna do the aliens coming again?
Hopefully not. Like I said, they've done it already with Pixels. I'm not sure what else I would want to see it in. It's like
I think this one's definitely going to get the video game curse.
I'd rather see Shoots and Ladders. Shoots and Ladders, the movie.
Or the Donkey Kong movie. I love that short film of Donkey Kong and Mario. There's a great YouTube short film where it's like a 3D live action version of Donkey Kong with Mario, jumping over barrels and in this great graphics. And you guys got to check it out. But our next story is more entertainment stuff.
Mixed feelings. Transformers 5 gets a title. Paramount Pictures has announced the official title for the 5th installment of director Michael Bay's Transformers film franchise will be titled Transformers: The Last Night.
Yep.
Production on the new Transformers movie will be scheduled to start on June 6th in Detroit and will be followed by a Bumblebee spin-off film set to come out in 2018.
Just Bumblebee.
And then Transformers 6 arrives in 2019.
Yes. So Transformers 5. I'm probably gonna watch it. I've seen all the other ones, even though I think they're not amazing films. I know I'm gonna watch it anyway, so I might as well just admit it now, and pre-order.
I'm a Transformer loyalist. Even watching the first Transformers movie, I just wasn't sure what to expect, so I didn't have it has to be this. Yeah. It has to be traditional Prime with a flat chest. Once I saw the first trailer,
flat chest,
yeah, like the blocky kind of thing. I was like a cartoon loyalist, like I want to see my old school cartoons.
Yep.
But I liked what they did. I give in. I bought the toys.
It's action. I mean, for a cartoon series that was created to sell toys, the movies.
That's how it was. That's how the cartoon was.
The movies are just as the same. Yeah, they're just it exists to sell product.
I was like, no, here's my money. No, I don't want to see it. It's the same way, kind of the way I felt about Bryan Singer's X-Men. I am an X-Men fan loyalist, so I unwillingly went and paid my money to go see the X-Men movies. I'm going to probably do the same thing with Transformers. The only thing is...
Are you going to see... Well, speaking of the X-Men, there was the review by Kotaku that kind of tore into the next X-Men. Are you still going to watch it even though it's getting not great reviews at this point?
It won't be the first time. It won't be the first time. That's how I felt about First Class. I heard catching Kevin Smith's podcast. What's his name?
The Fat Man on Batman?
The other fat man.
Oh, Mark Bernard.
Mark Bernard, yeah. Mark Bernardin. He's a great guy. I heard of his review. Even though he works for the LA Times, he gave as much as a spoiler/review without giving too much spoiler review. He did hit some notes where I was like, oh! He said Phoenix. But, that was kind of a play on that he's in Phoenix,
To me,
Arizona.
that feels like a Death Note if they bring in the Phoenix. Because, the last time we saw the Phoenix, it was such a horrible movie.
Well, yes. Once again, Bryan Singer. Well, I blame him and his writers and everything else. But it was, to me, more of a... the way he described that, I felt it was going to be just like Batman versus Superman, where he did this comparison, where they were kind of force-feeding some other storylines into a movie, just to not only are we going to give you, oh God, what was it? Not Bizarro. What was the Doomsday? We're also going to give you the death of Superman all squeezed into that along with the Justice League hints. It was just too much written poorly, and I'm just like, I want to see it for the visuals.
Honestly, you don't need as much story, or you don't need as much action, I think, to make it a good story. And I wish movie producers would understand that it can be simple. It can have it needs some action, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be overtake the last movie every single time. You could have a simple story, and as long as the story is strong, and the characters are strong, I think that's what sells tickets.
That's why Marvel so far is doing it right.
Yeah,
Marvel's doing it right. Hopefully they continue. Hopefully they'll get the rights back or work out a deal the way Sony did with Spider-Man, and go from there.
Now, speaking of great movies that might be coming out, we have a Harley Quinn spin-off movie in the works. Everybody is already talking about Margot Robbie's.
Real quick question from Hans. Hey, Hans.
Hey, Hans.
It's been forever, literally, but Hans, a question about the Gambit movie. So far, the Gambit movie that we heard of
it's on hiatus as far as I know. I think it has more to do with the production schedule of their main actor. What's his name?
Mr. Magic Mike himself.
Magic Mike, yeah.
Tatum.
Channing Tatum, yeah.
There you go.
He's been doing so much other things. I think he's holding a production, and then they have people coming and going in the director side that are holding things up a little bit. So I don't think they've started production yet, as far as I know.
I just love the fan art that they've done for Gambit, because they had him with the headband, kind of like faceless mask kind of thing that just wraps around. Looks very similar to the 90s Jim Lee X-Men cartoon, which I thought would look awesome, because you watched Wolverine Origins. Their Gambit...
It was okay.
Cool. Yeah, it was okay. I don't get me wrong. I was like wild when I saw the card tricks and everything, even his little flip with the power staff kind of thing. I liked it. Yeah. As much as I want to be a cartoon loyalist. I was expecting a headband,
and I was expecting a staff, and I didn't get those. But
all I wanted was the accent, the cards, and maybe some rogue action.
Yeah, some rogue action. That'd be nice. Mm-hmm. But back to our other story. The Harley Quinn spin-off movie. Currently, Margot Robbie's already has, before the Suicide Squad movies even come out, she has had a writer write a script for a Harley Quinn spin-off movie, and the studio has already purchased it. So she's already sold a script on spec, and they're making this Harley Quinn spin-off movie. Now, the rumor portion of the story is that it potentially can include Batgirl and maybe even the Birds of Prey. So that's the rumor portion of it. But I would love to see Harley Quinn maybe versus the Birds of Prey, or she's included in the Birds of Prey. She definitely has the strong girl power vibe.
That's why I feel like with especially the Suicide Squad movie that is going to be coming out, I feel they're going to kind of squeeze in the semi-mad love storyline of how eventually Joker met Harley.
I think they're going to use that as the flashback towards how they met.
Mm-hmm. But Harley, great character. The comic book spinoffs that eventually she broke off on her own was great. Loved her in the animated series for Batman.
Oh, did you also hear that Tara Strong is looking for a cameo in either the Suicide Squad or in the Harley Quinn spinoff movie?
That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great.
She's trying to get Stan Lee herself up, and like get into the character portion of it.
Why not? She was a great voice. She's done. She wasn't the original first Harley Quinn voice,
but I think she's the iconic Harley Quinn voice that I think a lot of us know from the Batman the Animated Series.
Totally, her rendition was great. I would love to see her as a live action. She's gorgeous. She's talented.
Yes. But I think Margot Robbie's doing a good job. I was slightly hesitant to see what she could do before we actually saw a video of it. But once you saw those first trailers, man, she's adorable, and I think all the dudes love her, and most of the women like her portrayal as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever see her in the traditional Harley Quinn outfit of the red and black,
it wasn't under consideration because I think they wanted to change things for the movie, make it original so they could sell new toy products, new things like that.
That's true. That's all about licensing, making about that money. So collectibles.
They got to make that money.
Exactly. All right. More comic-related news. Save Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Last week, we reported that ABC canceled the Marvel TV show Agent Carter after less than a stellar ratings this season. However, fans have started a petition on change.org to save the show and bring it to Netflix. They already have over 90,000 signatures and a goal of 150,000. Netflix has done amazing things with Marvel titles that they made, and we hope to see that they can save this amazing show, Agent Carter.
Absolutely. I love Agent Carter, one of my favorite Marvel television shows, even though it's not on Netflix. ABC was doing a really good job. Between Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. slightly better. They had a little more action. But Agent Carter had this great vibe. It had this interesting historical aspect to it. It almost felt like a period piece set in a fictional Marvel world that I really enjoyed. And in season 2, they started tackling bigger issues like race relations, interracial dating, and things like,
real world issues of that time. Yeah.
And Agent Carter was just the strongest female character that Marvel has, and they're kind of wasting it. Maybe Netflix can do something better.
Hopefully. My biggest thing was that there wasn't enough hero / interactions, introductions, even for that era. I know there's obviously Captain America's frozen in that time stream, but there's so much more they can see. Even if it was like a cameo of the Winter Soldier. And I got another quick question. Have you guys heard anything on the new Blade series supposed to be coming to Netflix?
I've only heard that they are making it. I don't know if there's any casting news, but I've heard that they are working on it.
There's 3 possible shows right now. It's the rumors. It's going to be Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Blade.
Yep.
Just no Blade. There have been 3 Wesley Snipes movies, so from Blade, all the way to Blade Trinity. So it was a 3. That's when like Ryan Reynolds, when I got kind of first taste of the Deadpool character in that version.
That's absolutely true.
But also there's been a TV series that at the time, I think it was on. They came on UPN. Then eventually became on Spike TV, which that. Station has changed.
This was the failed Blade TV series.
The Blade TV series. I forgot if it was like a not in a bad way rapper actor kind of person. I don't have my phone on me or else I'd IMDb it. But yeah, they did have a television series for a while. You could even probably find it online. You probably find it on YouTube for sure.
Yeah,
Hulu,
but this is definitely going to be on the back burner for Marvel at this point, at least for Marvel Netflix. I mean, they have Jessica Jones. They've had the Daredevil coming out. They're working on Jessica Jones season 2, I believe. Power Man is finished production and they're working in post. It's slated to come out later this year already. And then you have Iron Fist coming out, and then of course they're going to wrap it up as the Defenders. And then after that, I think they're going to work on Blade 1, Ghost Rider.
No offense to Wesley Snipes, I loved his version of Blade. Other than of course seeing him in the Expendables, he seemed like he'd be able to pull it off, but I don't know if he's up for it. Him doing Blade, and the other thing is also depending on might give an opportunity. Marvel has been doing usually can give a no name, almost like in Star Wars, a no name actor that nobody's really known but has the chops.
Yep.
Maybe somebody else will fill Blade's shoes and
I'd rather see them give it to a young actor who can have the role for 5 years instead of Wesley Snipes, and he's already looking old. It's hard to look like an immortal vampire.
I know it says they don't crack, but it takes some time.
In the 65, 70 years old. Now Carl Holland is making the comment that no new Netflix series, 5 is enough.
Hey, Charles.
5 successful ones
Never
are great,
enough Marvel.
but to me, there's never enough Marvel. As long as they're done correctly and as long as they're entertaining, I'm willing to accept any amount of Netflix series as long as they're done well. If they suck, then they don't deserve to be there.
Exactly. My thing is have as many Marvel shows as like cartoons as possible.
Yeah.
It's just a matter because it's a little harder with live actors to do the whole kind of crossover thing compared to a cartoon. Yeah, you could throw anybody just about it.
Although if you talk to the CW, apparently they're planning to do like a 4 series crossover for their stuff. Arrow, Supergirl when she comes in to the CW, The Flash, and
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, so they plan to do all 4 together. And Michelle Armstrong is commenting.
I've got a little thing going on right now.
On our live feed that Edgar looks like Wolverine. And
I'm getting there, snick, and whatnot. But
they are recasting Wolverine character after the next movie, so maybe
I
Edgar
might have
can
a spot. Why
have
not?
a chance
Hugh Jackman
as Wolverine.
You know,
and of course, Hans thinks that would be awesome if Edgar would be Wolverine. I think so too. Now, moving on to our last entertainment story, though, we're going to move on to Buckaroo Banzai Television. On episode 246 of Kevin Smith's podcast, Hollywood Babylon, he confirmed that he's in talks with MGM to create a TV version of the cult movie Buckaroo Banzai. Apparently, the episode of The Flash he directed aired, and MGM approached him with the opportunity. Kevin Smith has accepted the writing role, at least, and possibly directing, citing the project as a dream writing project.
Yeah, bouncing back and forth. Yes, more Wolverine. Maybe with different characters because there's a whole range of bad guys. But going with Buckaroo Banzai, did you guys ever watch it?
I have seen portions of it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I tried to look for it on Netflix for this story. It was on Netflix. It's not available on Netflix anymore in the United States. Apparently, it's available in the UK. You can get the DVD for it.
UK Netflix?
Yeah, UK Netflix. Remember?
The whole
things are geo-fenced around the world, unfortunately. But I've seen portions of it, and I liked what I've seen. I know it is a cult film for a lot of people, especially those who grew up in like the 80s.
Had quite a bit of celebrities on there.
Yeah, there are a lot of famous people.
John Lithgow. God, I can't think of his name. Something Goodman? No. The guy from Jurassic Park that drops the water on the thing. The guy from The Fly. If you guys know, please fill me in because we've had a lot of issues. Like we're describing this person, but I'm using my phone for something else, so I can't do dual purpose.
Yep. So there are a lot of famous people in the movie, and it is a cult classic for a lot of people.
Joel Goldman, but something Goldman.
Goldberg.
No.
Anyway, that's a thing. But it for Kevin Smith, he went on and on the podcast about it that he loves the idea.
Jeff Goldblum.
That's
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, folks. Thanks, Hans.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you once again. Been in those situations.
Hans and Michelle, thank you for that. For the memory ad.
Oh, my phone's dying, you guys. So hopefully it might cut off in the middle of somewhere. So I apologize if it get cut off. But
if it does, you guys can of course
check out the website, geekbytespodcast.com.
We are live streaming this particular episode of the podcast on Facebook Live. So if you guys happen to cut out, awesome. You guys can check it out on our website, geekbytespodcast.com, later today when we broadcast. But that's going to be it for our geek news section, folks.
If you like the podcast and want to help support us, you can fill out ways to do so at geekbytespodcast.com/support.
Yep. We are going to move on to, though, our trailers of the week section. Now, in our Trailers of the Week session, we talk about the best trailers that came out this week. And remember, you can, of course, watch all the full trailers that we're talking about at geekbytespodcast.com. We are going to begin with our first trailer week, which is going to be the BFG.
All right, guys, I'm going to cut off the live feed. So definitely check us out at geekbytespodcast.com. So I'm sorry, going to cut it short. Next time I'll probably plug it in. And hey, Audrey, sorry I missed you, but
I say portable batteries are wonderful.
Portable batteries. I actually can't find mine, but well, once again, we're going to end it right now and catch us on, once again, geekbytespodcast.com. We'll try to do a live feed next time. If not, we'll do another live feed from probably a better location.
See you folks in the live.
See you guys.
Now, for everyone else who is still here from the non-live broadcast portion of it, we are continuing with our trailers of the week. The BFG, or the Big Friendly Giant, brings Sophie, a 10-year-old girl, to Dream Country, where he collects dreams and sends them to children, teaching her all about the magic and mysteries of dreams. Having both been on their own in the world up until now, their affection for each other quickly grows with Sophie's presence and Giant Country has attracted the unwanted attention of other giants who have been increasingly more bothersome. This, to me, was the cutest version of this movie and trailer that I've seen yet. You get to see a lot more of the movie.
It's kind of cool because it took a while for me to watch it and realize that's actually a real girl, a live action girl.
They're doing the live action animated combo.
So watching it, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, Jack and the Beanstalk. Remind just like that,
kind of has
similar,
that
just not as gory. That's at least for the story how it goes. But still interesting seeing where it's gonna go. But yeah, it gave me the whole Jack and the Beanstalk feel. But it was the I don't want to say modern version of Jack, but the one that came out in the theater a long time ago. Because who knew an actual Jack and the Beanstalk movie would actually cross over and make it in the theater? And I thought it was actually really good.
It's adorable.
Yeah, no, not just adorable, but it was kind of a little dark, very more of the old school kind of darker, grim fairy tales.
Like this one or the other one? You mean
the other one?
Oh,
the other one that had the other giant on his shoulder. Yeah.
This one, this BFG is absolutely adorable. It's definitely kid friendly. I love watching every Monday, but I think this is going to be like the Harry Potter for a lot of kids who are growing up now. It just has that same kind of vibe of magical community, friendship, and joy of dreams. It's absolutely adorable. So I'm looking forward to seeing it with my nieces and nephews or whoever.
Definitely. If not even for myself, but I'm probably going to wait till it comes out, probably on DVD, Blu-ray, or whatnot. So
okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
What did you take the next one?
All right. That's already exactly. Ghostbusters. Let's put it out there. This is the second international trailer for the movie, and I like it better than made for the USA version. And they are still great jokes, but it doesn't give away most of the movie. You also get to see more of the larger cast of the film, including some SNL alumni. Looking forward to seeing these ladies kick some ghost butt on July 15th.
Yeah, I love this version of the trailer. This is the second international one. There have been like 3 or 4 United States versions of it, and I like the international versions better for the most part. They hide a little more of the plot. The jokes seem to be funnier, even though they cross on both sides. And in this particular trailer, they introduce a lot more of the ghost, including the Marshmallow Puffman.
Yeah, I was surprised to
It's definitely an end kind of ghost. Mm-hmm. So to me, they're ruining a little bit of the ending of the movie. But a lot of the comments on Facebook and YouTube have been really negative towards. It's like, I believe this is like the worst rated trailer. Like these videos have been the worst rated trailer on YouTube ever. So, but to me, I think that's overreacting. But to me, I'm definitely gonna watch it just to support it.
I feel that they're just like very bratty fans out there. They're like, no, this is my Ghostbusters.
You're ruining my childhood. Yeah, all those comments. To me, I think they're overrated. Wait till the movie comes out before you start commenting on quality. I mean, if you just have misogynistic issues, that's on you.
Oh yeah.
But these ladies are all funnies in their own right. So putting them together into a great intellectual product like Ghostbusters, to me, seems like a no-brainer. And again, I'm paying for nothing else just to support the idea of these reboots.
Exactly. Before you start dumping on it, give it a chance because this is actually made for a whole new generation.
Give it a chance before you dump.
Exactly. Well, don't force it out. But yeah, I say let it come out. Wait till the critics review because they get the first taste on it. And then of course then there's the fan portion of it. Just like if you're a big believer checking out the reviews of like Rotten Tomatoes, that's how it was for Batman versus Superman. A lot of people, like, even if you don't even have like Star Wars, you didn't have to even be a Star Wars fan. It was just a really good movie.
Yep.
Because that's the thing about movies, especially if you never heard of or anything. If it wasn't for trailers or anything and you just heard there was a sequel Ghostbusters movies, there was no trailer, and the only way you'll know if it was good or bad is actually going into the theater and watching it yourself.
Absolutely. So go pay your ticket to give your opinion, folks. And that's what I think should be done. But our next trailer is going to be a TV trailer, actually. It's going to be Mr. Robot Season 2.0. Mr. Robot follows Elliot Alderson, a young cybersecurity engineer who becomes involved with the underground hacker group F Society. After being recruited by their mysterious leader, played by Christian Slater, following the events of F Society's hack on multinational company Evo Corp. The second season will explore the consequences of that attack as well as the illusions of control. Now, if you haven't seen season 1 of Mr. Robot, I highly I encourage you to go watch it.
It's on Netflix, right?
It was an absolutely amazing series. It's a USA show. I'm not sure where it is currently. I downloaded it the entire season just to watch it. I loved every episode. I mean, from the very first episode, like the critics, all those people who've been talking about it all year, they're right. It's such an amazing show, and they get the hacking and the computer stuff correct, and it strings you along, and you're not really sure where it's going at some points, and it's suspenseful, and it's done correctly, and I loved it.
That's why I heard about it, and I still haven't got a chance to now because I didn't want to. I'm just busy work schedule.
It's a thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I heard nothing but good reviews. Honestly, when I first saw it, I didn't know what it was about because I saw this one dude kind of look like Bruno Mars that, looked like also from that last Twilight movie. I was like, all right, Bruno Mars has a TV show? I'm like, oh, that's not Bruno Mars.
No. This is the thing. It's kind of its own event. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen season 1, folks, but go watch it and catch up before season 2 comes out. It's totally amazing and enjoyable.
The thing that I liked about it before it became a thing, if you will, it had this awesome promotional thing where it was like kind of very Matrixy, like, Neo, are you there? Like, actually, even through an email that you respond, kind of just like
power marketing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great marketing for it, and that's what kind of had me like, how come I'm not watching this right now?
It's a hot show. So good for you guys. Now our last trailer of the week is going to be
Outcast, based on a comic created by Robert Kirkman, creator of Walking Dead. This Cinemax show is a supernatural horror that chronicles the story of Kyle Barnes, a man who's loved ones are involved in a demonic possession since his childhood. As an adult, with the help of a reverend, he tries to unveil what lies behind the supernatural manifestations and why he seems to carry special peculiarities.
Yeah, this was a slightly disturbing trailer for me. It's really dark. It talks about demons and possessions and some hell angel kind of things. It's really weird, but it kind of fits in the wheelhouse of Robert Kirkman, who created The Walking Dead, the most famous zombie franchise of all times. And I think this might be something new. I'm personally not too familiar with the original comic series, but it seems like if you're into The Exorcist or those kind of films, this might be up your alley.
Yeah, I'm not tapping too much into the religious beliefs, but I always like the concept. I don't want to call it all totally mythology or whatnot, but believe in heaven, hell, demons or angels. It's a good story. Yeah. It's a good.
That's what matters.
It's a good story.
Is this a TV show you'd watch?
It almost gives me the Exorcist kind of feel on it, but it was good. I think I would check it out, at least to give it a try, and we'll see if it's one of those shows that they hook you towards the end to find out what's going to happen on the next episode. Kind of thing.
Now that's going to be it for our trailers of the week section, folks. And again, for all the trailers, you can always catch them at geekbytespodcast.com. We are, however, going to move on to our discussion section. Okay, folks, in our discussion section, we talk about anything we find interesting this week that does not quite fit into the news section. And this week, we're going to talk about all the new summer and fall shows for this year and next year, actually. We've collected about 36 new TV shows and their trailers that are coming out this week, or that have came out this week. Which ones are you looking forward to? Have you actually gone through the list and looked at these trailers yet?
Some I've heard of, just through like through the grapevine, if you will.
Yeah.
Some personal opinion. I'm just like, but won't know till you actually get a chance to check them out. We'll see. Obviously, with the sad to say cancellation of so many shows, this is an opportunity for these shows to arrive and hopefully take over in a positive way. So we'll see how it goes.
An opportunity. You're correct. Now, I've gone through them all already with my wife. We've watched all the trailers. We've highlighted a few that we're super interested in. You can check out all 36 of these trailers at geekbytespodcast.com. We made a whole list of them, so you don't have to go looking for them on your own. They're all together under new upcoming TV shows in our entertainment section on our webpage. But one of the first television shows that are coming out the soonest, actually in a couple months, is going to be called Vice Principals. This is a show where Danny McBride is fighting for a chance to become a vice principal, and it doesn't seem that funny up front until you bring in other funny people like Bill Murray and Walton Goggins, Georgia King, Busy Phillips, Kimberly Herbert Gregory, Sean McKinney, and Shea Wingham. Essentially, it almost feels like the Office Community with the harsher comedic tone that Danny McBride is known for in a school. So it seems funny.
Danny McBride has always been a pretty funny character. If you see Eastbound and Down, Pineapple Express,
Yep.
He's kind of semi. I don't want to say in your face kind of guy, but he's the guy that crosses the line. Like, if I don't like that, fuck that. I don't care.
Yeah, he does that sometimes. Yeah.
So it feels like it should be probably like something on HBO or whatever, but because the reason I say that, because he's the guy that will say fuck you about that. So if it comes on network television, we're gonna see how far he could push that limit without busting the F-bomb there.
He's on HBO. He can say whatever he wants.
No, is this gonna be on HBO?
Yeah, it's an HBO show.
Oh, then fuck yeah. So we'll see how far it goes. If anything, I'll probably catch him hooking up with either like a what do you call them? The cafeteria lady, trying to, score some of that, or hooking up with a like history teacher or something like that. It usually works.
We'll have to wait and see. Now, another television series that I was looking forward to was actually The Son of Zorn. This looks they're combining animation and live action in this television trailer in this series, and it kind of works for me. Imagine if He-Man had to go work at a regular office, but only he's still He-Man, the cartoon character. That's what this is. And it's really funny, but it still has that workplace, home kind of comedy feel to it. And it kind of works for me. There's a bunch of other television shows that we're interested in as well. Pitch is another television show that kind of caught my and my wife's attention. It is about the first female pitcher in the Major League Baseball. And so you could imagine the drama of being the first female pitcher in an all-male sport. And this is actually something that's based on something that could be potentially happening in the future, like in the near future. So it's something that is kind of being predictive of the future. Now, a lot of the other television shows that I liked from this list are actually going to be time travel shows. We have Making History, which is actually a comedy show. It follows three friends from two different centuries as they try to balance the thrill of time travel with the mundane concerns of their present day lives. Now, these guys actually go back in time and actually try to start the American Revolution, because as they're time traveling, they realize, the American Revolution isn't happening, which means something is not correct with history, and them being the only things that are changing, it might be that, or it might be them that needs to incite the American Revolution. So there's some other great comedies and action movies within this series. Another one I was super excited about in the time travel thing was Timeless. Now, this is a show by on NBC. This one actually has a feel for it. It feels like a history teacher and a cop who go back in time. It feels like a mashup between Making History and Time Cop, where they actually go back in a pod and they try to change the past that someone else is trying to change. So that's what I think that's going based off. And there's a ton of other amazing series. Just in the time travel section, there's also one that has H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper going back in time, actually going into the future to our time. And Jack the Ripper escapes, and H.G. Wells has to find him, and so it becomes a murder mystery time travel show. So, there's a ton of amazing shows that are coming out, and I'd wish that you had seen some of these, or is any of them on the list that you're familiar with?
Some that I've seen. The one that you were talking about, I did watch a thing of Son of Zorn. To me, it looks very similar to like a combination live action of kind of like Space Ghost.
Yeah.
When he had the live
Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Yeah, the live audience, a live guest interacting with Space Ghost, but also kind of gave me a little bit of feel of combination of The Office and Birdman. So it was like a great Hanna-Barbera kind of style thing. So even it looks like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I don't know who owns the rights to this character, who he's always done by. I think
he's completely made up.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. What was the other one that I saw? I'm reading some of the titles here. Is like Star, Farsight Kids Become a Girl Group, which is to me Gem and the Holograms.
Sort of. Yeah.
It's very.
This one's a little more dramatic, which is why it appealed towards my wife more than myself.
Yeah. Now the Pitch one. It reminds me of the episode of Futurama where Layla becomes the first Burns ball baseball player. So I feel like they're gonna.
Except that this one they're playing a little more straight, and but Same kind of premise, you're right.
Yeah, it's just a matter. Hopefully, it's not just a publicity shtick or whatnot. Just to, like, oh, first international, female player, but then she just benched the rest of the time, or she cries and
And I think two shows in particular that are going to get big numbers, at least at first, are going to be Kevin Can Wait, which is the Kevin James show where he's a retired cop and he has to take care of his kids, especially they're coming back from college, and it's a toss up there. And the Matt LeBlanc show called Man with a Plan. Matt LeBlanc is a retired, I think, construction worker, and he's taking care of his kids, so he has to take care of toddlers and do the whole stay-at-home dad thing while his wife goes back to work. I think those two trailers are kind of show a nostalgia for like the 1990s, 2000s, when those guys are super popular, and they're bringing them back from retirement.
Yeah, because with Kevin James, like unless Adam Sandler's making another movie and gets him to get in on that, I actually like Kevin James. I did watch King of Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen actually some of his stand up. He's actually a really, really funny guy, entertaining. Don't care if you don't like Paul Blart. I like Paul Blart.
He's funny. Yep.
He was good in those. Matt LeBlanc, of course, famous for watching him on Friends.
Yep.
I remember seeing him on it was like a spin-off show for Married with Children when he was starting out. But we'll see how it works. I didn't get a chance to watch his what was his cable show that he was.
There's a show called Episodes. It's
there you go.
It's like a British show. You can actually catch it on, I think, either Hulu or Netflix. It's there currently. I think they have 2 or 3 seasons, but their seasons are like 10 episodes long, so they're not quite as long. And that show's about him as an actor. He plays himself, and like writers from England coming to like remake a British show in the United States with him as the main character. And of course, it's satire and American humor, and it works really well. I enjoy that show. But some other shows to kind of watch out and watch a trailer I recommend. We're definitely going to be MacGyver, Training Day. These are all movie spinoffs. We have a spinoff from The Exorcist that's going to be coming to us in the fall.
The other one that I know that is going to be kind of is like Lethal Weapon. I was
Lethal
like,
Weapon,
really?
Yeah. That one. So those 4 shows alone are all going to be movie spinoffs as television shows, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, Rush Hour is actually out currently. That one's out now. So but these are all future shows. Again, we have up 36 full trailers for television shows coming out either this year or the beginning of next year, folks. And I encourage you to go watch them all. Let us know at geekbytespodcast.com or on our Facebook page or Twitter page which ones you enjoyed, which ones you didn't, which ones you have hope for. And I'm going to call it as an end to the show unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think we're good. Other than the shows coming out, same thing. I just will eventually. I know they're kid shows, but every once in a while I watch Disney stuff, so I'll there's some comebacks for some old shows and some goaways on their part too, because sometimes those kids get a little too old.
Sometimes you have remakes like that.
Got to start get a fresh new crop of kids out there, but there's very few times that Nickelodeon will put something worth interesting to check out, because then it's an opportunity for a new actor to become like name for themselves and whatnot. But we'll see. We're waiting for more entertainment that needs to come out. Of course, what's in a couple weeks is Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse.
That's right.
So we're
definitely we're gonna watch it for you guys, just so you guys don't have to watch it if you don't want to. I will let you know what you think of it when it comes out.
But
for Geek Bytes Podcast, I'm Ramon Mejia.
I'm Edgardo Costa.
And now go geek out about something.
Behind the scenes talk, jibber jabber, blah blah blah, yeah, blah blah blah.